What is going on, everyone? Hope everyone had a awesome weekend. Hope everyone enjoyed their Easter. I know our girls enjoyed their festivities yesterday between a ton of Easter egg hunts and enjoying time with family and everything else. So, hope everyone had a same awesome type of day. Yeah, it's Monday. We're starting a week off right. So, I haven't talked in a little while, so had a few thought processes and already kind of knew where today was going to probably lead with athletes coming in the door and having certain things. So I miss Tiff or Scott, not sure which one it is, but I hope you guys are awesome and good morning. But first off on there, gang, is I knew pretty much every Monday after a holiday tends to be about the same. You know, you get people coming in, we're tired, we're lethargic, we might be a little moody, we might be a little unsure as far as how we're normally feeling. And, the big part is we've showed up. You know, that's the first check on the box is we showed up and we're already moving that needle. And so one thing this seems to be a common conversation that I have, and I know the rest of our staff has with a lot of athletes, is the standpoint of we get into being our worst critics. You know, us as human beings, we are always our worst critic. You know, if there was a bullhorn that was attached to inside my head that would verbalize and vocalize outside to the external world of what thoughts go through my head, I'm pretty sure everyone would be disgusted about the things that I say to myself on a daily basis. But we can always seem to be our worst critic. And so the topic that I want to come and get you guys thinking about today is essentially the aspect of failing. I think oftentimes, and today's a very good indicator and a very good kind of just driver on that is, yesterday was a holiday. I did this with my family. We went this. I ate this. I did all these things. And you know what? I'm the worst person that's ever walked the face of the earth. And, I think it's important to first off understand is where are you at right now and what are you asking? I think Courtney has come up with this one of essentially understand your ask. If you're asking of yourself that you are wanting to accomplish X, Y, Z, okay? Say I'm at A. Say right now I'm at A, but my goal is to get to Z down the road. Obviously, the distance between A and Z is pretty drastic, right? Where if I'm further along in my journey and say I'm at letter M and I'm still trying to get to Z, the distance there isn't quite as drastic. And so what probably most likely is in that is the habits between those two, between M and Z, also isn't as drastic as between A and Z. And so when you're first starting off your journey and you typically have habits, because yet again, we are our habits. What we do on a daily basis is is the reason why we are where we're at. And so if I'm at letter A, but I have to get to letter Z, what habits do I have to incorporate in order to get to that letter? And so if I'm starting off my journey and I'm A, and I'm just constantly doing, say I'm doing 2 days of what I'm asking myself to do. Say I'm trying to get on a better exercise program. And so I'm going, I start day Monday, I do awesome. Day Wednesday, I do fantastic. And then come Friday or Saturday, all of a sudden, the excuse bug comes in and I just kind of fall off. And so what happens there is I constantly just reinforce to myself that I can do things basically about 75%. Where, in the initial phases of this, if I can get myself to get through that of going Monday, Wednesday, even if I don't want to on Friday or Saturday, still show up, that's seeing improvement and that's already reinforcing to myself that I want to make change. And so that gets me to B, to C, to D, and so on and so forth. And so by the time I get to M, those habits are probably already established. Where if you're at letter M and say yesterday came and you decided to, have a piece of candy with your kids, you decided to have something with your family that maybe may not have been ideal or whatever on those things, those the repercussions of that probably aren't going to be as significant. Where if you're on letter A and you're literally just starting your journey, you're trying to quit smoking, and then all of a sudden you just have a little bit of a cigarette, all of a sudden you're restarting that habit all over again. Now you're having to reinforce, go back through the trial and tribulations of breaking those things, of kind of getting your body to stop craving it and doing those kind of, get basically going through that hardship of it. And so, with that being said, you guys, I think it's really also important to understand that it's okay for us to take a breath and take a step back. I think oftentimes on there we get into that, it's all or nothing. I'm either failing or I'm passing, and I see that a lot when it's just even coming to exercises. I'm either doing this completely wrong or I'm knocking it out of the park. You know what? This is either the easiest thing I've ever done or this is absolutely the most hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. And so understanding that we probably don't live on one side or the other. We don't live in black. We don't live in white. We're in that gray area. And having that gray area is okay. And sometimes understanding that it's okay to understand that we're not failing really anything. There's necessarily no failing. It's in learning. It's a chance to learn. And what can I take from this as a learning and growing opportunity? And to me personally, the only time that you can truly say that you're failing is if you're constantly making the same mistake over and over and over. Because if you're constantly making the same mistake over and over and over, you're not allowing yourself to, first off, be aware of what the hell you're doing. But the other part of it is you're not taking it as a learning opportunity so you can apply it later on down the road. Because I hate to break it to you if you haven't learned this already, there is no perfect. There's never going to be the 100% easiest road to take. There's never going to be rainbows, butterflies, sunshines, unicorns throughout our entire life. Yes, there are going to be days that align that are absolutely, we knock out of the park and it is awesome. Those days, unfortunately, tend to be more rare than they are the other way around. There are going to be obstacles. There's going to be peaks. There's going to be valleys. There's going to be all those in between. That's okay. That's life. But I think allowing yourself to understand that going into any scenario, whether it's exercise, whether it's nutrition, whether it's relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever it may be, those things are going to happen. It's life. Those things are going to happen as far as obstacles. Those are things that are going to happen. We're going to fall on our face. You're going to have those things. Because if you're not doing those things, I promise you're not putting yourself out there and you're not challenging yourself enough in order to see growth. Because yet again, you can't see growth if there's no restriction and there's no friction in order for you to have to go through. And so first off, allow yourself to take a step back, take a breath, understand that you're human, understand that you're okay. But at the same time, understand where you are currently at. Are you at A and you're trying to get to Z? Are you at M and you're trying to get to Z? Are you at W and you happen to go backwards? Where are those things happening on there? So, first off, understand it's okay to breathe. It's okay to understand that you are human. But at the same time, don't necessarily let yourself off the hook so easily. But the other part of the gang is give yourself a chance to understand that learning is an aspect of failing. And failing, there is no failing so long as you take that as an opportunity to learn from and progress yourself down the line. So my thought process for you guys today is get yourself thinking about it is, first off, why are you so hard on yourself? Give yourself some love. Give yourself a little bit of reprieve. Give yourself a little bit of a 10,000 foot view of understanding of, first off, where you're at. Bring awareness to why you're doing the certain things you're doing. And then stop coming at it as judgment. Stop coming at it as you're the worst person ever for not being exactly where you want to be. Because, yet again, you're never going to be where you are. You're never going to arrive. You're never going to be able to get to those things because I promise by the time you get to letter Z, you're starting over a whole new journey because by the time you get to Z, you're a different person by the time you get there anyway. So that journey is always going to continue. So understand that we've never arrived. There's always progression. There's always certain things we can do. But yet again, give yourself some love. Give yourself a little bit of understanding of we're not perfect. We're human beings. There's no failing. There's only learning. And what can we learn to progress ourselves down the road? So it's Monday. Hopefully this gets you guys started off right. Hopefully gets you guys just giving yourself a little bit of love. Hope everyone had a great holiday. But if you got questions, you got thoughts, you guys, if you got this and you got something out of it and you feel like you can give it to your friend and they're going to benefit from it, tag them, give me a what's up. You got questions, you got things you want to comment on there, by all means do so. Ms. Tiff or Scott, either one. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I appreciate you tuning in. And check you guys later. Bye, y'all.